So with time to reflect, like anything, it was a really good win for us. As I said, it was a tight game. After the game, I said it was very, very tight. Could have gone either way. They've had a great chance just before we score, which goes just wide of the post, and then from the resulting goal kick, we're alive and we get the winner. And what it showed on Friday for me was it really reiterated what I keep telling the players, which is every single week you have to be at it. And the week before that, in the build-up, obviously with Moulton, with the Stopfold game, which I keep going back to, because what we've had, unfortunately, here is too much, as I said, focus is massive in terms of what we're trying to do. And there's a lot of noise that goes on around outside of the club. And, I know various people get themselves stuck in on social media and sit there behind keyboards feeling a little bit brave sometimes. And what we've got to stop doing as players and staff, keep saying, just stop engaging it. We've got to just keep our heads down and just keep doing our jobs, because whilst we're doing okay, and it's nothing more than okay in my opinion, we're still 10th in the league, and I know we, 5, 6, 7 games behind some of the teams in the division, but we've still got to go and find ways to win those games. And with all due respect, we're not going to win games over the next couple of months if we turn up and we turn up, with a mindset that we're good enough just to roll in and play. What we showed against Enfield was we showed a grittiness, we showed a determination, we showed a desire that we showed consistently at the start of the season, and we lost our way a little bit for the last month. And I think too many people got a first-class ticket on the hype train. I'm glad they finally got off that, and they'll be reminded again tonight that we've got some real big games coming. So whilst Enfield, I was delighted and really proud of the effort and the attitude and the way that we bounced back. What I would say is it's no more than a win. It's just another win. We're just in the next round of the Vars, and that's it. We haven't won anything, we're not lifting trophies, we're not celebrating anything, because at the end of the day, you don't win anything sitting in November. So we've got a long way to go in course of the season, and the most important thing for us now is that we park Enfield, we take the good things from it, because there were a lot of good things in terms of our desire, in terms of our structure, in terms of our organisation, in terms of, to a man, every single one of them stepped up. But now we've got to look at ways to improve our performance, because there's always ways that we can improve. So starting on Saturday, which is going to be a real tricky one away at Tring. So we're getting closer to getting a couple back, which is a good position for us to be in. Obviously we get Robbie Goodman now back, his cup tie's over. So we're getting, obviously each week that's going by, we're getting players fit. We've got good depth in the squad, which we're going to need. We're going to definitely need that over the forthcoming weeks, especially nowadays with the weather. The weather's kicked on, the pitches are getting heavy, and that has a toll on itself. We've got 1 or 2 suspensions still to clear this weekend, which is not ideal. And there's lessons that we have to learn as a group, because like I said, we've picked up too many needless bookings this year, too many silly decisions, that we're giving referees to make. And sometimes, with all due respect, whether the referee's getting right, wrong, or whatever, we've got to stop giving referees decisions to make. So from our perspective, we're getting closer to getting a full squad back. The good thing is, every time a player steps into the shirt nowadays, they know they've got to deliver, because if they don't deliver, they'll be out and the next one will be in. So that's what we want. We want depth. As I said, it's a tough decision again now, because we'll be leaving 1 or 2 out on Saturday that are good players, really good players for the level. But at the moment, we're going to go with the team that we feel gives us the best chance of winning on Saturday. Yeah, luckily I like their manager, because we're spending a lot of time together, me and him, at the moment, especially with us drawing them in the Vars in a couple of weeks, and we've still got to play them again in the league, and I'm sure there'll be another one of the 5 or 25 cups that we're in that we meet them again. So what we know about them is they'll have a way of playing, we'll have our way of playing, and it's on the day we have to make sure that we do what we do. I keep saying it, I say it every single week, I say the same things, because ultimately what we're not going to do is steer away from our identity. We have to be adaptable, we have to be flexible, we have to still do the basics. It's not, there's nothing complex about football. It's the game's pretty simple. At this level, the realities are, you have to win your contacts, you have to pick up your second balls, you have to run after opponents, you have to be structurally organised, and you have to be ruthless in both boxes. What we know about Tring is they're a good footballing side, they've got loads of clever rotations in midfield, they've got good players at the front end of the pitch. But I always go back to any game plan that we set at this football club. The question I always ask my staff, and I always ask myself, is how do we go about winning? Not how do we go about stopping Tring, it's how do we go about winning the game. And like I said, if I'd back us any single week that we play. If we turn up and play to our capabilities and play to our levels, I'd back us against anybody in the division. If we turn up and we're below par and we're sixes and sevens out of 10, look, anyone at this level is going to turn us over. So that's just it. It doesn't change. The philosophy doesn't change. All this nonsense about play the right way I hear every single week. Turn it in. It's getting boring. The most important thing is that we win, and if that means that we have to go and win ugly on Saturday and win 1-0 and it's a disgusting game of football in a gale force wind on a slope, guess what, I'll take it, because at the end of the day you don't get points for style, you get points for substance, and that's what we have to make sure that we come away on Saturday with. So a lot of changes at Osei this summer. Obviously got a different management team in, they've got some new players. They're a bit of an unknown quantity. I've got to be honest, I've not had them watched, I've not looked at them, because purely based on the fact that our biggest game of the season is Saturday against Tring. And when Saturday's finished, our biggest game of the season will be Osei on Tuesday. But like I've just said in the previous part there, they'll have strengths, they'll have weaknesses, as are we. It'll all be about how we perform on the day as far as I'm concerned. It's not about what they're going to bring and we must nullify or we must do something different in our game plan. People might think that sounds aloof. I can't control what the opposition do. If it's the one thing I've learned at this level time and time again, it's don't worry about preparing too much for the opposition, because on Saturday morning we could turn up and they could assign 7 new players. So we have to get what we do right. If that, whatever system, whatever style we go with is irrelevant. The most important thing is we win 3 points, and we've got an opportunity now over the next 3 days, or 3 games, 4 games, whatever it is, to start picking up some points. And I've got to be honest with you, without trying to heap pressure on our players, it's going to become a bit of a season definer over the next month, because we've got a lot of league games now that we've got to claw back. We've got to start getting points. 0s and 1 points aren't good enough for us now. We've got to start turning these into 3 points, and that's the demands that we'll be putting on from Saturday and then Tuesday, and then Potton in town next Saturday. That will be another tough one. And then we better, as I said, the most important thing for us is that we worry about what we do. And so long as we can steer away from the performance levels that we showed 2 games previous to the last one, then I think we'll be okay. But if we can keep delivering the effort levels, the desire, the way that we were in both boxes against Enfield, then I think we'll be all right this year, and that's the message that we'll certainly be reiterating to the group tonight.